Well, it was certainly fun going back to Trek,
It
but
was.
we've also gone back to the 80s, haven't we, Mark? You've seen Fatal Attraction, Lost Boys,
Ooh.
Meaning of Life.
Meaning of Life, yep, 83, I think.
83, okay,
Mm.
it's pretty close. How'd you find those? Was it
So-
nice seeing them all shined up and looking fantastic in 4K?
Yes. Well, all three have been fairly interesting. So if we start off with the Lost Boys is always the Lost Boys. It is a classic, which by the way, dear listeners, Kaz finally admitted today to having never seen.
I've not seen the Lost Boys.
It's just a shocker. But anyway, but what the new 4K restoration that Warner's have given it is absolutely blinding, literally in some cases. It's I think I put in the review that it is almost the textbook definition of everything you expect from a 4K wide color HDR.
Yeah.
It is bold, it is bright, it is detailed, it is glorious. Same, most 99.9% the same audio track, all the same extras ported over. You are going to upgrade for the lovely shiny new picture, and I think it's absolutely worth it. It's a lovely picture. Go down to the other end of the spectrum with Fatal Attraction, which it's come from a very problematic previous 1080p release, a lot of baked in DNR, which didn't help that Adrian Lyne shot a load of it soft focus with all that smoke and wafting light and all this kind of stuff. Now, the 4K is an improvement over that. There are times where the picture has all that lovely balance of organic looking, even fine grain and glorious fine detail sitting just underneath it. And then you will cut in the same scene to a shot where it is completely grain free and it's bordering on that god awful waxy appearance that unfortunately as 4K fans know all too well. So it's a real tale of two halves, Fatal Attraction. Again, it's the same soundtrack with the same extras. Actually, not even all the same extras ported over. The 2020 release in the States had a whole load of other extras, I think, that aren't ported over onto this edition. And then you've got The Meaning of Life, which is somewhere in between, which has a very nice scrubbed up picture. It was always a bit rough looking, huge amount of optical work in there, anyway, so it softens up quite a lot. But it gets rid of a load of the awful edge enhancement and real digital looking shenanigans that was on the previous release. And even hilariously, it gives it a massively unnecessary DTSX soundtrack. I mean, who on earth out of all those releases thought, I know, The Meaning of Life gets the full 3D object-based audio? It sounds all right. You know, the songs are great. It fills the room. There's very, very few spot effects. You hardly notice anything over a good up mixer of a traditional 5 or 7.1 soundtrack. But it's there, and hey, you know, good on Universal for giving it to him. So yes, I've had a grand old time revisiting the 80s with those three great films, quite frankly. And Simon's paid a visit there too, haven't you, Simon?
You've got
Maybe.
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist, yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I haven't seen that for years.
I don't think I've seen that properly either.
Yeah, very interesting. Spinning that disc again, I'd forgotten how good, how well constructed and well made it was. Beautifully shot, beautifully paced, put together well, and there are some genuinely scary bits. Perhaps single-handedly telling everyone that clowns are scary, which was since 1982 they have been. Since before that, I don't think they were. It's quite a clever film. Not hugely original, but expertly done. Who directed? Don't really matter. It's still a great film. The sound is fantastic. It's only a 5.1, but it's good enough. Absolutely good enough. And the picture is awesome. I really enjoyed it. In fact, I enjoyed it so much. I actually went out. I didn't believe I didn't own this. I wanted to see E.T. again because I hadn't seen it for such a long time. When they were made practically the same time, back to back, if not at the same time. And that's even better. It's amazing. We haven't even reviewed that on site. I don't know why we've not reviewed that one on site. It's an awesome film. Again, brilliantly put together. And that's got an Atmos track. That's wonderful. Wonderful, that is.
Middle-aged men reminisce about the 80s. Who'd have thought?
Well, I tell you, it's made me want to. I mean, I have seen Poltergeist, but I haven't, if that makes sense. I saw it when I was too young to really watch it, and never revisited it. But reading the reviews of Lost Boys and Poltergeist has definitely made me want to investigate these, particularly as they're looking and sounding better than ever. It seems like the time.
tootin'.
Yeah. This week, today, we've got polar opposites released. We've got Eureka's first. We've got the Police Story trilogy, making it to 4K, and we got Jurassic Park Dominion, making it to 4K. I love the Police Story films. I love Jackie Chan. It's
absolutely
a great set. They didn't have the third film when they remastered the first two for their Blu-ray sets a few years back, but Eureka have got the rights to the third for one, and they've remastered that, and they've done it in Atmos. So I very much enjoyed watching the third one, which my mind had told me was the weakest of the three, but I really did have a lot of fun with it.
Excellent.
Yes, I think if you are a fan of the films and therefore you probably own the Eureka Blu-ray set, you will love this. The 4K presentation is only that Blu-ray remaster given, the full bandwidth and time to look gorgeous. I think they've done a fabulous job doing the best they could with what were quite cheap and rough and ready movies. So I think there's a lot of credit to those. I think that if you didn't get along with the Blu-ray remasters from Eureka, you probably won't get along with the 4K set, but you would be wrong. So I highly recommend it. And seeing the films again just made me think, pretty much every stunt in the Mission Impossible films in one shape or another was done by Jackie Chan, or indeed Michelle Yeoh, with very little in the way of safety measures. I mean, if you watch the outtakes of Michelle Yeoh on a dirt bike jumping from a hill onto a moving train and missing it 3 times in a row, and you're thinking, health and safety, and you watch Jackie Chan grabbing onto a ladder from a helicopter, a bit like the Joker at the end of the original Batman film, dangling from that above a moving train. What are you doing, Jackie? This is So I mean, I love Cruise and I love what he does in films, but Jackie was doing it before and he was doing it mad.